Good morning and welcome back to Margin. This morning we're going to talk about shelter recap, the recap of housing. So let's jump right into it. So in this theme on shelter, we have looked at your dwelling from a standpoint of what you should be paying based upon your income, how much your mortgage or your rent should be. We have looked at the cost of home ownership, whether you should be concerned about the life cycle of your specific real estate market, as well as the types of mortgage products that are available to you and where you should be spending your money when it comes to your home, to improve your home. And so as we've gone through this process, it should be something that you're realizing more and more of how important home is. And with the uncertainty in the world, it's especially important that you make sure that the comfort of your home is a blessing and not a curse by making sure that you are counting the cost before making what is most likely the most expensive purchase you'll make in your lifetime. So it's important for you to go through the process of making sure that you're ready to buy a home before you buy a home and save the heartache of having that buyer's remorse if you're really not ready to buy that property. So what do you do now that you have this information? Knowing where you are and what you want based on where you want to go will help ensure you don't make a mistake when it comes to purchasing a home. So following these 5 steps will help you to do so, will help you to make sure to methodically go through the process before you actually make the purchase. Now, step 1 is to know your ideal lifestyle and what it looks like. Knowing whether you want a large home for entertaining or a small home that you could potentially rent out in the future. And also knowing what your needs are and what season of life that you're in is especially important. So you're not buying a house that doesn't fit the season of life that you're in. Now, step number 2 comes down to knowing what you can afford. Don't become house poor by buying a home that you can't afford. Affording it does not mean that you can just simply pay the mortgage. It means that you also need to factor in taxes, utilities, upkeep, furnishings, and repairs as well. And oftentimes people only factor in what they can ultimately afford from a mortgage standpoint without factoring in those other components. Now, step number 3 is to know what you want in a property. Just like going to the grocery store, except on obviously a much bigger scale, don't walk through the grocery store without a list, as you'll pick up items that you didn't actually need and probably spend a lot more than you anticipated. So know what location, what features, what size, how many bedrooms or bathrooms that you actually want, and make sure that you're not walking in and falling in love with a house that may be obscure and difficult to sell in the future. So step number 4 is know the market that you want to be in. Not necessarily the market that you're in right now, but the market that you want to be in. Knowing what the homes in that area specifically actually sell for, the typical size, the amenities, or the areas of that specific place you want to be that has the lowest crime, the best schools, the shortest commute. Aspects like that will make sure that you're not buying outside of the market that you actually know and the market that you want to move into. So step number 5 comes down to knowing the migration patterns of the area that you want to be in. Knowing whether jobs are moving in or jobs are moving out. And understanding kind of the life cycle of that specific areas. We know that areas of town ebb and flow, and it's important to kind of know the life cycle of what area you're moving into. Now, this is especially important as you get to know that area and understanding whether there is people moving out faster than people are moving in or vice versa. So you understand inventory and supply, you understand prices, as well as the overall demand and the sense of urgency that you may need to have to place an offer on that right property. So after reviewing this theme and everything that goes into home ownership, you may determine that you're not ready to own and need to continue renting. Now, know that there is nothing wrong with this as long as you have a plan, as long as you have a plan to rent for a certain period of time or to buy and upgrade at a certain time, but really to have a plan. So my call to action today is to have a plan around your home based on what you ultimately want lifestyle-wise. Don't want what you don't want. Don't buy a house just because your friend or coworker or a family member says you need to buy a house, but buy one based on your own conviction, based on that being your own decision and whether it makes sense in that season of life. If this information is helpful to you, please do like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell so you're reminded to come back on a daily basis and improve in managing your personal finances. Thank you for your time. Enjoy your day. We'll see you back here tomorrow.